Hello.
What's up?
We're back with album review. No Jake this week. We got Dylan, which it works out well because Dylan also happens to like this album a lot and be very familiar with it.
Mm-hmm.
Can I just get this off my chest and say this album slapped hard as fuck?
Yeah, you can say that. So, this album is Paranoid by Black Sabbath.
Yes.
This is their second album. This came out all the way back in 1970, so as of right now, this is the oldest album we've done.
Really?
Yeah. But this album is very special
Yes.
because it came out in a time when the rock was trying to find a more hardcore sound. And there was one song that I think did it very well before anyone else hopped on it. It's a little album called, known as the White Album by a band called the Beatles. They have a song called Helter Skelter.
Mm-hmm.
Now that song, it went crazy for 1968.
Yes.
And it inspired other bands to start doing their own thing. One of those being Black Sabbath. Now, I don't know if they were the direct inspiration, but it came out around that time. This was from 1970, so they had an album under their belt, but this one, oh my god. This one...
I know off the top of my head that originally all four of these guys came from two different bands.
Yeah.
Tony Iommi already had his fingertips unintentionally removed by a fucking machine press in his old steel mill job days. He met Ozzy Osbourne after the accident when he was getting back into guitar and realized that he went to high school with him. And Tony Iommi, the main guitar player on the album, is older than Ozzy by like a year or two in terms of just actual age. I don't know what high school, I don't know what grades they were in, but they knew each other.
We're an English band, so...
Yeah. And then Ozzy's band split, and the drummer of this album, as well as Ozzy, were together. Geezer Butler, the bass player, was met after, and then Tony Iommi was the last piece of the puzzle.
Mm-hmm. And they all would form what is Black Sabbath. And this album, let's just jump right into it.
Mm-hmm.
The first track, War Pigs / Luke's Wall. The first half, War Pigs, being, oh my god, a very anti-Vietnam song.
The generals do gather at their black masses.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
This was after the draft had occurred in many countries to go after Vietnam. This was their response to it.
Yes.
And
I love this song.
it's a fantastic song.
It's great.
Amazing.
It's one of the best songs of the Vietnam era, probably.
Yeah.
There's a lot of this was going on at this time, though. The Rolling Stones were making songs about Vietnam. CCR was around at this time. Fortunate Son. Is also one of the most important war songs of all time.
Mm-hmm.
This is definitely one of them, though.
Yeah, for sure.
Vietnam officially ended, like the entire conflict ended in 1972. So if they had like portable radios or like fucking rec stations or rec rooms, this would probably be playing in the background
They'd probably
somewhere.
hear this stuff.
This or probably the title track, which is one of my favorites too.
Yes.
It's a song you've probably heard 100 times on the radio.
Paranoid is my favorite song off the album. The title track is my favorite.
It's so
I love this song.
It's great.
I like the little intentional fuck up. I guess people say it's a fuck up, but it's not really. It's intentional.
It's an added
little note that after like the second or third verse, it's like that I don't know. I haven't noticed. I noticed it like a couple months ago when I was listening to it.
Fun fact.
I thought it was car noise.
Yeah.
It scared the hell out of me.
It's a song that's supposed to make you feel paranoid.
Yeah.
I used to play this song live when I was jamming in my first band, and we did a good job at it, but we never added that little fucking blah that part.
Damn.
I also wasn't privy to that. I didn't realize that.
You didn't notice the detail.
No.
Mm-hmm.
I was just vibing to the tunes.
Still a fantastic song, so.
One of the first I learned on guitar.
Oh yeah.
There's another song on this album that was the first.
The next track is Planet Caravan. I love this track. I don't know how some people feel about it, but I really like it.
It's alright.
It's very ambient sounding.
I like Planet Caravan.
Yeah, it's just like a guy and his girl just going through the universe.
There's a lot of ambiance in this song.
Yeah.
It makes you feel like you're floating in space when you listen to it. It's something I feel like Pink Floyd would definitely use something like this on many of their albums.
For sure.
Very, very, like, not chaotic, but in a weird way, it kind of is.
Yeah, it's like it's a weird type of chaos.
Chaotically calm.
But the next track, Iron Man, another one of my favorites.
That's the first song I learned on guitar.
It's a great song.
I like
Such a
Iron
good
Man.
song.
It has nothing to do
Nothing
with
to do with
the
Marvel
MCU
character.
Iron Man or just MC
It's
Iron
way
Man.
before.
Just literally,
MCU.
and nothing to
Yeah.
do with Marvel.
They used that
Yeah.
song in the first Iron Man movie, though.
They did?
Well, yeah, because funny.
You have to.
But it's about this man who has traveled to the future and saw nothing but death and destruction, and he comes back to the present to warn people. But obviously, they don't take him seriously. They just fucking pass him by. Who cares? What the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
And then
Some crazy dude.
Yeah, and he was tired of their shit, so he started the apocalypse that he envisioned.
Yeah.
Damn.
It's
he
a
said,
it's a
"Fuck this
fucking
town."
wild song, and I
Yeah.
love this song.
It's really cool.
Classic.
Especially that intro where Ozzy's saying "I am Iron Man" with a distorted voice, like that shit's crazy for this time period.
Yeah, that shit's fun.
And then next is Electric Funeral. I know Luke's not a big fan of this song, but
that song.
I like
Electric
this song a
Funeral,
I
lot.
like Electric
For a
Funeral.
while, I used to dig it. The problem was I kept hearing it so fucking much.
It's like when we talked about the Eminem album when you said Amityville.
It's like
Yeah.
It's like
I don't know what the song is actually about, but I'm sure it's probably about nuclear weapons. Because
yeah, this one.
reading into the lyrics, that's what it reminds me of. But I really like that that message.
There's
I
a
guess.
lot of messages throughout this album,
Yeah.
especially the
Yeah.
next track too, "Hand of Doom."
Yeah.
That's
Which is
another really-
Vietnam song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one was pretty fun. This is actually the first time I sat through this whole album. I have all the best off this album.
Yeah.
But this is the first time listening to it in full.
I've listened to this album many times.
I've
Many
also
times.
listened to this album many times.
Yes, this is something I've been listening to for a long. We've all been listening to for a long.
I was actually
time.
listening to this album when AJ picked it. The funniest part is
That's funny.
So yeah.
It's a classic.
The next track is Rat Salad. This is probably my least favorite. It's not that it's a bad song. I like it.
It's not bad.
It's
I like Red
just
Salad.
it kind of feels like a more technical version of Led Zeppelin's "Moby Dick." If anyone knows that song, well, longer it's mostly
You
just
are
the drum
right.
solo.
Sounds a little more crazy version of that.
I think
Yeah.
that's what the only instrumental track on
Yeah, it's the only one. And then the last one is Fairies Wear Boots, but in the beginning it's called Jack the Stripper.
Yeah.
So there's that.
I want to know the context behind that song because I don't.
It's a
I don't
really
know.
good song.
It's pretty good.
I like how it wraps up the album with that one. It was very good.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Ended on a solid note.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
But I'd say this album it's amazing. It's still mind-blowing to listen to in 2023.
It is.
I think I'd highly recommend it for anyone who wants to listen to it.
Same. Like, especially if you don't like the super heavy metal.
Yeah.
Like, this is probably
This
like
isn't
a
the
good
greatest
step.
entry
This
point.
is like the
Yeah.
entry point for metal if you want to really break it down.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Because this would go on to inspire so many artists that we've already talked about.
Mm-hmm.
It's just awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this album's fantastic.
I'll be listening to it probably many more times this
Yeah.
year alone. Final thoughts?
Highly recommend it. I'm starting to get back into Sabbath. I listen to a lot of music that's kind of, almost in the exact same vein as that. Like there was sludge metal and doom metal, which all
Mhm.
came from Sabbath. With that,
Yeah, those are like direct inspirations.
the fuzzy distortion, the vocals, the lyrics about all kinds of shit, war, drugs,
Mhm.
just the life in general. That's where most of it came from. So
Yeah.
going back to this, it's kind of like eye-opening and cool at the same time to see the history unfold.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real.
They are the godfathers of metal.
Indeed. And in this vein, I'm gonna rate the album now. I'm giving it a solid 9 out of 10. It's the only thing I don't really like is just the Rat Salad could have been more interesting to me. I guess it's a personal thing, but the rest of the album I love, I dig. It deserves to be like one of the most influential albums of all time.
Of course.
Who's next?
You?
All right, I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10 as well.
All
This is
right.
a fucking banger.
It's a banger,
I can
banger.
sit through this album every day. Not every day, but I could literally binge this album over and over.
For sure.
Love it.
Pretty solid.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give it an 8.
Okay.
I really enjoy this album. I really like it. I'll probably listen to it again. Some of the later tracks, I'm not like I like Rat Salad's okay, and the final track I think is okay, but I still think they're good songs. I'm not saying that I hate it.
Oh
It's
yeah,
just-
for sure.
Those are my least favorite off the album. Those are the final 2 tracks, but I love the rest of the album. I think it's great.
I have to say, I give it a 10 out of
Success!
I love
It
this
deserves
album
it.
so much,
It's
bro.
that
yeah,
good.
it is pretty
I've
fucking
been
good.
listening to this album for so long. I love
Mhm.
it so much. It has a special place in my heart.
Hell yeah, me too, for sure.
Love it.
So Dylan, what are you picking for us to listen to next?
Fuck, I wasn't prepared.
I told you you'd be picking.
We're doing Under the Covers Volume 2 by
God
Ninja
damn it.
Sex Party, baby.
Now I have to listen to
Let's
Volume
go.
2.
Yeah, it's the better one.
Under the covers.
the
Oh
better one.
man, hell yeah, bro.
And you've been under the covers this whole
Bro,
episode. It
oh,
all ties
yeah.
together. It all ties together.
It's
It
M. Night
all ties
Shyamalan.
together.
I'm now being forced to listen to them.
Mhm.
I love NSP.